Hi, my name is Fernando Martinez, and my project is about gangs in El Salvador. I will talk about how gangs started in El Salvador, and I would like to start with the Civil War. In 1980s, the Civil War in El Salvador broke out. This war lasted approximately 12 years and was fought between the Salvadoran government and the FMLN guerrilleros. The war was largely fueled by the ongoing Cold War. Thousands of Salvadorans were brutally massacred, and approximately 75,000 people died. Most of them were innocent civilians. This was one of the main reasons for the massive immigration of Salvadorians to USA. Now, I will talk about the gang's foundations. And I would like to start with MS-13, or known as Mara Salvatrucha. This gang was founded in the low-income neighborhoods of Los Angeles. Following the mass migration caused by Salvadoran Civil War, this gang was originally created to protect other Salvadorans, migrants from local gangs. But over the time, it evolved into traditional gangs. Barrio 18 was founded in a similar way, also in the local neighborhoods of Los Angeles, like MS-13. It began as a group to protect migrants from other gangs, but this gang was more like diverse than Mara Salvatrucha. Now, I will talk about how they expanded and how they get into El Salvador. Um, these gangs arrived in El Salvador when the U.S. began deporting their members do their criminal activities. Once back in El Salvador, they reestablished their gangs, which quickly grew and took control of many neighborhoods. Corruption also played a significant role, as some high ranking officials in El Salvador helped the gangs grow by working in hand with them for mutual benefit. Now, I will talk about the gang structure. These gangs were always highly organized with clearly defined roles for each member. The least res- respected job was the lookout or poste, often teenagers or even children, who stood at the entrance of the neighborhood to watch who came in or out of the or if the police arrived, or if any strangers came in the hood. They will report this information to their superiors, usually using their phones. The soldier or hitman was responsible to carrying out murders such as killing someone who hadn't paid extortion money. The homies were in charge of extortion and recruiting new members. The ranfleros were coordinators or co-leaders of the gang. And finally, El Palabrero was the leader of the clique, that one with the most power on control over everything that happened within. Now the reclutation. Gangs frequently recruited new members. With teenagers became their most common targets. They will start to observing them to see if they were suitable. They being forming a friendship with them to slowly bring them into the gang. They will then be given small tasks like watching the neighborhood, delivering messages, or transporting small amounts of drugs. If they choose to join into the gang, they will do, they will go through a initiation ritual. In MS-13, this was a 13 seconds beating. In Barrio 18, it was 18 seconds beating. If someone refuses to join, they will often pursued and even killed.
Que los jóvenes, porque la mayoría de los pandilleros pues rondaban de mi edad, tipo 16 años y todo eso. ¿Por qué creen que ellos se metían a las pandillas? ¿Por qué buscaban ese camino?
Bueno, muchas veces eran de que a veces gente que tal vez los papás trabajando y ellos se mantenían solos, salían afuera, se iban haciendo amigos de estos muchachos. Y entonces estos se los lograban que ellos se metieran en las pandillas también. Y así fue como fue creciendo ese grupo de gente mala.
The symbology of the gangs. All gangs have symbols, whether through graffitis, gang signs, or tattoos, that represent something meaningful to them. For MS13, the number 13 is iconic. The name Mara Salvatrucha is a combination of two words. Mara means group, and Salvatrucha combines Salvadoran, someone who's from El Salvador, and trucha is someone alert or sharp. That is the origin of their name. They also use hand signs to represent the letter M. Barrio 18 use the number 18 is as their symbol, and their name is said to come from the street where the gang was originally founded. Gangs eradication. In 2019, President Nayib Bukele won the election by a wide margin, gaining control of El Salvador. One of his first actions was to implement the territorial control plan, which involved deploying a large number of soldiers into the neighborhoods to capture gang members. He then built a massive prison to hold the captured gang members, prevent them from controlling the prison as they had in the past. Lastly, he introduced the state of exception, which was heavily criticized for numerous reasons. It effectively violated human rights, while this policy increased the number of captured gang members. It also led to arrests of innocent people who were only released after innocence was proven. Authorities will enter homes to search for hiding gang members or anything suspicious. One major criticism of the state of exception is that people unconnected to gangs were mistreated by police or arrested without a just warrant. However, despite these uses, this policy significantly improved public safety, making El Salvador one of the safest countries in the Americas alongside Canada. After having been one of the most dangerous countries in the world for many years.
Últimamente pues ya El Salvador ya está más tranquilo, ¿verdad?
Sí, gracias a Dios con este nuevo presidente, pues él y lo que dispuso él es agarrarlos a todos y así uno por uno va agarrando.
¿Cómo cree que, o sea, qué leyes tuvo El Salvador? Porque usted conoce un poco más de leyes que yo, pues usted está más mayor.
Ajá.
¿Qué leyes impuso él pues para parar más?
Bueno, de apresarlos. O sacamos varios policías que andaban en todas las colonias, en esas colonias que vivían más fregados, ¿verdad? Entonces dijeron agarrar muchachos y a veces agarraban muchachos sanos y
Sí,
ajá,
sí,
pero después al averiguar de que no tenían nada que ver con las pandillas, pues los devolvían, ¿verdad? Y por eso hicieron esa cárcel muy grande, muy grande, ¿verdad? Y entonces todititos se agarraban como, no sé si fueron 70,000.
And that's it. Thanks for your attention. Thank you.